That's pretty much, well, not confirmed by the UFC, but confirmed by Islam Makhachev. Islam Makhachev came out and said, no, that fight's not happening. He's got lots of work to do in the welterweight division. Outside of that, I mean, Michael Chandler's ranked number 13. There's Renato Moicano at 10. There's Dan Hooker at number 8. He wouldn't be a bad stylistic matchup for Conor McGregor, but I think it's going to be like an old school throwback and something big and something that's going to blow people away. Dustin Poirier would do that. I think Jorge Masvidal would do that. And certainly a third fight with Nate Diaz, that would definitely blow the roof off.
He's gonna move it, we did.
You're under arrest. You're under arrest. Stop resisting.
Conor McGregor is the perfect example. Why do you think he's such a big star? You think he's such a big star because he's funny? Yeah, that's part of it. You think he's such a big star because he speaks so well? Absolutely part of it. And you just keep going down the line of all these things that makes him a star. But number one, first and foremost, the reason he is a global superstar and people love this guy is because he's a real fighter. This guy, I'm the guy that makes the phone calls and hears people going, yeah, I'm not going to take that fight, or I'm not going to do this, or I'm not going to do that. Never has Conor McGregor said, Lorenzo and I were standing in his living room. Kid just woke up, got out of bed, he's in his underwear. Okay? Doesn't even have time to process what's really going on. Looks us dead in the eye and says, I'm going to take a shower and get dressed and work out. Let me know after I'm done working out who I'm fighting. Doesn't care.
Right.
And that, people feel that. People notice that.
McGregor's return has intensified, backed by strong reports that is fully committed to a demanding training camp aimed at a potential comeback at the rumored White House event. What's different this time is the absence of flash and pre-fight drama. Instead of spectacle, the former two-division champion appears focused and disciplined, preparing for a stage too significant to be about quick money or hype. If he steps back in, it will be to make a powerful statement and remind the world exactly who he is.
White House is what everybody's talking about. Big card on June 14th. There's going to be 100,000 people across the street.
I'm going to be in there.
Who's more likely to fight on that card, John Jones or Conor McGregor?
I'll say Conor McGregor. Listen,
Why?
man, if you're gonna have the big
McGregor, according to his recently deleted tweet, he's back, he's coming, he's on.
I'm coming!
What did he say? He said, I have been offered an opponent and I accept. He said, I've been offered an opponent and I accept, waiting on my contract. Now that tweet recently got deleted as well. One would assume, right, reading between the lines, could be wrong, that he's telling the truth, that he got the offer, they've agreed an opponent, and he was very excited, so he tweeted about something, then he was like, oh shit, I'm not supposed to say anything yet, or whatever, so he deleted it, okay? And obviously, it's a nice little PR move, it generates some interest for Conor McGregor, and the interest for Conor McGregor, he doesn't need to generate interest, let's be honest, okay?
Comes to the Irish superstar, even a quickly removed tweet can send shockwaves across the entire fight community. This wasn't harmless talk. It felt more like a premature reveal of major information that wasn't supposed to be public yet. And if Bisping's instinct is correct, if this really was an unintentional slip, then this massive return could be unfolding far sooner than anyone expected.
Diaz, that is correct. Stockton's own, king of the face slap, whatever you want to call him.
I don't give a
Nate Diaz, he was never far away from a bit of controversy, okay? He was talking recently and he said that he's coming back. He's got unfinished business. He's going to take over. That this generation of fighters, they're all crap and he's going to come in, take over. He's got unfinished work to do.
McGregor 3, I want to fight maybe Dustin Poirier if he's championship pussy, and then maybe Mike Perry. Let's see what happens in the future though.
And someone said, what about the White House? He's like, oh yeah, that'd be dope too.
Yeah, the White House would be perfect.
You're the man.
Now, we've talked about this many times. Of course, Diaz and McGregor, they are one apiece. Nate Diaz shocked the world. He wasn't
Surprise, mother.
when he choked out Conor McGregor, and of course they fought again. Conor came back. It was another great performance. He dropped him with leg kicks. He dropped him with every left hand that he threw. but it was a war, and Diaz made him work, and Diaz even had Conor running away at one point because he was getting a little bit tired. But the fact of the matter is that those were two of the most watched fights in UFC history, much like all of Conor McGregor's fights, okay? He is by far and large. White House is going down, and Conor McGregor, I think, will be fighting on it, and Jorge Masvidal would be a good matchup, okay? I'd rather watch that than Michael Chandler, respectfully. But Nate Diaz 3? Now, Nate Diaz is still a draw, right? People love Nate Diaz. He has got cult-like status in the mixed martial arts world, just like his brother. And his brother Nick, by the way, he said recently that he's going to come back as well. He said, maybe I was getting it confused. Maybe he said this new generation of fighters. He's only 42 years old. He's cleaned up his act. He's been to rehab and stuff like that. Of course, last time we saw him, it wasn't a good look. He was a little bit overweight. I think it was Robbie Law.
Detailed perspective, emphasizing that McGregor remains, by a wide margin, the biggest attraction in the sport. To support that claim, he pointed to the iconic rivalry between McGregor and Nate Diaz, a matchup defined by one win apiece and two incredibly demanding battles inside the octagon that generated enormous viewership. Their first encounter shocked audiences when Diaz forced a stoppage, flipping expectations overnight. The rematch unfolded as a fierce, back-and-forth contest, where McGregor's tactical changes earned him a narrow decision victory after enduring relentless pressure from Diaz. If Diaz truly believes there's unfinished business, as he has repeatedly stated, and is serious about asserting himself in this era of competition, a trilogy between them could easily become one of the most talked about and significant fights the UFC has ever put together.
And White House is what everybody's talking about. Big card on June 14th. There's going to be 100,000 people across the street.
I'm going to be in there.
Who's more likely to fight on that card, Jon Jones or Conor McGregor?
I'll say Conor McGregor. Listen,
Why?
man, if you're gonna have the biggest fight card of all time, you gotta have the biggest star the UFC has ever seen.
Yeah.
Henry, here's the potentials. Alex Pereira, Jon Jones, White House. Or Dana says, all right, Jon Jones, Tom Aspinall, White House. Or Dana says, Jon Jones, Francis Ngannou, White House. Conor McGregor, Michael Chandler, White House. What's the biggest fight out of these four fights here?
I'd probably say Tom and Jones.
Over Francis and Jones?
Yes. Why? Because it's the 250th birthday of our country, England versus USA, the greatest of all time. The greatest of all.
Discussed White House event actually becomes reality. He expects Conor McGregor to be front and center. Bisping even floated the idea of Jorge Masvidal as a possible opponent, suggesting that matchup could ignite an explosive clash, while also acknowledging the heavily rumored showdown with Michael Chandler. Still, he stressed that Nate Diaz carries major star appeal and appears highly motivated to step back into the spotlight. Altogether, it creates an impressive range of elite options for what could already shape up to be a massive, potentially record-breaking fight card.
They want, let's do it. I tell them I will be ready soon. If White House, of course, I want to be in White House because there may be one and only we will make the fighting in White House. I want to be in history. Now I'm already make good money, which one enough for my family, you know. And now I have everything before it's also not coming in my dream, you know. Now I just ready, you know. I training every day, still hungry, still fighting, still want to be.
White said this week that he thinks the UFC White House event will be the most watched event. And on the surface of it, that seems like a plausible claim. I mean, just sort of, again, given the unusualness of it, could it be that case? Plus, if they're going to be simulcasting on linear television through CBS as well as Paramount Plus, so now you're not behind any kind of a paywall, that certainly could make an enormous difference. I think it is.
Focus shifts to Henry Cejudo, Olympic gold medalist and former UFC 2-division champion. When asked which potential matchup would best headline a historic White House card, he answered without hesitation. In his view, a showdown between Tom Aspinall and Jon Jones carries more weight than the much-talked-about dream fight between Francis Ngannou and Jones. His reasoning goes beyond the names involved. With the event tied to the nation's 200th anniversary, he sees Aspinall versus Jones as a symbolic England versus United States clash, a meeting of a legendary figure and the present, possibly future, face of the heavyweight division. Cejudo describes it as a defining moment between generations, a fight with built-in legacy even before the opening bell. In his eyes, it would be a landmark contest capable of marking a pivotal chapter in the evolution of mixed martial arts.
I will just come down to a couple of factors. Number one, for fight fans, I mean, fight fans aren't going to skip it. Fight fans won't even skip, the average, or the hardcore fight fans, I should say, won't even skip, an event at the Apex. But to get the casual fan, I do think that some level of matchmaking will matter here, some level of it, right? I mean, they couldn't just put nobody's on that card and then have it there and it would be the biggest event in UFC history. I don't think that's quite right. However, with the right kind of matchmaking and, good luck with the weather and all that kind of stuff, I think
Islam and Ahmed could be good.
But I don't think there'd be too much bad blood between them. I'd want to see like a Topuria Makhachev on them.
Oh, that'd be good too.
They'd have to be separated.
The way he breaks it down is impressive. As the discussion moves forward, the ever-observant MMA analyst can barely contain his excitement over the mere idea of a White House event. You can almost sense his mind racing, envisioning matchups that would feel electric before the opening bell even rings. He seems especially intrigued by the possibility of Ilia Topuria facing Islam Makhachev, a pairing built on skill, tension, and undeniable stakes inside the octagon. These are the kinds of fighters who command total attention, drawing fans to the edge of their seats with every movement. It's that constant sense of danger, the feeling that chaos could erupt at any second, that makes the idea so compelling. From a seasoned perspective, these are the types of bouts that would define the entire night and ensure the event is talked about long after the cage doors close.